Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, October 16th, 2023. Well, we're going to do something a little different today. Oh, we'll still do a tarot read, but I had a viewer and subscriber contact me and asked if I would check and see if they had had a prophetic dream. And I was intrigued once I heard what the dream was about. You see, this subscriber is a member of the Mormon Church, the Latter-day Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, LDS, however you choose to know them, and lives in near Salt Lake City. Now, the main temple, the biggest temple for this church, is located in Salt Lake City. And several years ago, they started renovations. Now, the reason for the renovations at the time, as far as my subscriber remembers, she was just told that they were because there's a fault line near the Salt Lake City area, and they wanted to make the temple more earthquake resilient. So she was expecting to see, foundation work, things like that. And indeed, that has happened. But now there's renovations happening from top to bottom. It's like the whole place, she said, looks like it's getting gutted. And I decided to check it out because here's what her dream was. She dreamt that the White Hearts Alliance had approached the hierarchy of this church and said there was evidence that there had been misconduct and nefarious shenanigans going on in that building. And that if it wasn't cleaned up, it would go on the list of places that the rods of God are going to deal with. So let's take a look at all of that. I've got a compilation that you can look at, follow along with me, and then click on the Facebook link if you'd like to read these articles more, because I wanted to confirm the fault line information, the renovations, things like that before we got into this in a video. So let's look at what I've got, and then we're going to see if the tarot cards have some information about this. Okay, 1 second while I share the screen. Here is a fairly recent photograph, as I understand it, of the Mormon Temple being renovated. As you can see, they are nowhere near the foundation anymore. But, to make a building earthquake resilient, you've got to do a lot of structural things. I know when I lived in Alaska, wood frame buildings could be no more than 4 stories tall, and 17 stories was the limit for steel frame buildings because that was a heavy earthquake zone. So here is an article about check out the renovation. Okay, so there's a link here you can click on. I'm not going to click on the links because we're just going to get pop-ups telling us please subscribe or approve the cookies or what have you, but you can check this out. And then here's another one from ldsliving.com talking about the latest updates on the renovations. Now, I wanted to make sure that this temple was not already on the list we're talking about, the Rods of God building list. So I found a Twitter post that mentioned it, and here's a screenshot of the list. You can see the 34 that are currently on there. It was interesting reading the comments under this of other sites that people said ought to be on that list, like the Standard Hotel, things like that. So that was interesting. So if you'd like to look at that list, it's there, and the tweet it came from is there. And down here, here is an article back from 2013 in livescience.com that talked about how it was indeed possible for Salt Lake City to see even bigger earthquakes than they've had in the past. So it made sense for them to do those renovations. And if they wanted to make sure that a structure that's very meaningful for their membership kept its structural integrity no matter what happened geologically, just makes perfect sense. But I mean this with all due respect, because I've got loved ones in my life who are members of this church and coworkers that I've dearly loved. And my daughter had a wonderful family, and the whole family were friends with us. So I don't want to seem like I'm disparaging or pointing a finger at the Mormon Church with what I'm saying. I think we need to be very understanding and even compassionate that any large religious organization in our world, no matter how well-meaning it was at its inception, once it got large, had some power, some clout, was being impactful in people's lives and hearts, it became a target for evil. So I don't think there is a large worship group on the planet that hasn't had to deal with very sneaky infiltration and shenanigans. So I'm not saying, again, that I don't doubt that there's lots of rumors out there and scuttlebutt, and there's people that have actually done really good investigative work about those shenanigans. I just want to make it clear that I realize that this is probably not the vast majority of the membership, just like there's millions and millions of people who belong to other churches that are oblivious to the fact that higher up the chain of command, there's been unholy deeds done, or acts done, or harm done. So let's just take it as something of a fact that because of its influence and size, this church, like many, many others, including, well, I'd say just all of them on the planet, has at some point had to deal, and hopefully they are dealing with some infiltration in their membership that they would not have knowingly, willingly welcomed. You know, devil's sneaky, very sneaky. Okay, and he works on a real long game. So I want to ask the universe, was my subscribers' dream prophetic that the leadership of the Mormon Church was approached and given the opportunity to clean up that structure, remove little rooms, passageways, etc., to remain off the list of rods of God targets, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know? So let's find out together. I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me shuffle the cards, and we'll see. Was this a prophetic dream or just simply a wishful dream? Let's find out. Again, what we're looking for is we'd like to know if there was accuracy in that dream that my subscriber shared with us. Was it simply a wishful, hopeful dream? Or was it prophetic that the leadership of the Mormon Church was given the opportunity to clean their temple up and thus remain off the list of targeted buildings for the rods of God actions when those take place, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know? The church is indicated by the Hierophant. Wow, how appropriate. First card, the Hierophant, the Hermit, 10 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, well, subscriber, and you know who you are. I'm not going to use your name. You are absolutely onto something here. Okay, this is one of the White Hat and Alliance cards. Okay, absolutely. So we've got the Mormon Church is indicated by the Hierophant, which, besides being a wisdom, is sometimes a deep state card for me. Not always, depends on the context. Okay, but definitely about structured, trust me, listen to me, don't do your own research type of, you know, the paradigm that we were raised in, to unquestioningly accept authority and not to question it or dive deeper. So that the church is being indicated with that. The Hermit shows up, a card of wisdom, and often a card showing divine presence. Now, if you view that as divine or off-world, whatever your lens is, that's fine. But it's a White Heart card, again, that shows me that the Alliance has the reason people that follow some alternative information out there and say nothing can stop what is coming is because there is that trust that there is heavenly guidance and benevolent assistance going on. Now, the Hermit's shining a light on the present, which is the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, there were shenanigans. The cleanup is not quite done, okay? But let's look at this in some here. Okay, so yes, your dream was prophetic. The basic church, the Mormon church, is very family-centric and very strong values, okay, when you look at their core beliefs, okay? And that was honored with the option to clean that side up, okay? Because as I said, the vast majority of the people weren't involved in shenanigans, weren't involved in infiltrating and doing dark deeds behind closed doors. The cleanup is not quite done. It's still in process. There's more to come, okay? The near future, okay, they're going to continue to not be candid about why these renovations happened. The Three of Swords often talks about deceit and misdirection. And again, it's kind of a sadness card. So there is going to be enough come to light that it's going to cause some sadness, but not enough to shake the values and core beliefs of the membership, the regular people trying to lead good, faithful lives with good values. Okay. And if you're worried about these disclosures that are coming, the truths that will come out about the church, there's not as much to worry about as you think. Yes, they've got some hard truths. Look, we've got three of the swords here are behind this worried person, okay, but 6 of them aren't. 3 swords here, again, for lies, deceit, misdirection, okay, or sorrow and misdirection. There's not as much as that's going to come out as could. There's not enough to shake the basic foundations of that church. It will remain strong. It will remain very family-centric with good values. Okay, it is a kind of an internal cleanup, and the long-term outlook here in the near future, it is going to be completed fairly soon, and there will be, the 10s are always a card of that involves the completion of something or ending of something and the start of something hopefully even better. And in this case, I kind of think it is. Now, we're going to get 2 more cards, which again, will be looking in the near future, looking ahead. They will be less impactful than this, which was saying, even though there's going to be a little of this is going to come out and it's going to cause some consternation and sadness, there's not going to be as much sadness as there could have been if there had been full disclosures, but enough that people realize that it was necessary and what went on, and maybe in that way can make themselves more aware and keep history from repeating itself in the future. And that new beginning is going to be beautiful. Okay, 2 more cards. Again, oh good, we got the 3 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Okay, new beginnings, definitely on the way, going to happen. Okay, so there is a cleanup. The temple is not simply being renovated. There's a cleanup going on with it. It's going well, even though it's not done yet. A little truth, maybe starting with like little videos of mine or other people that are diving into shenanigans within the upper ranks of that church in the past, are going to come out and help with that cleanup, and very, very good things for the future. They're going to be heading out in a new path, absolutely, with a lot of clarity and openness and resolve, not to backtrack. So I like that. Great read. Great dream, viewer. Good job. So let's recap. My viewer asked me if they'd had a prophetic dream. When they dreamed that the temple renovations happening in Salt Lake City for the Mormon church were not only about making the building more resilient to earthquakes, but about a cleanup. She dreamt that they had been offered the opportunity to clean up their own mess from shenanigans and misdeeds that a few of the leadership had engaged in the past, to clean their building up and keep it off that list of the rods of God. So we asked if there was some truth to that, plus insights and information about the situation, etc. The Mormon church was indicated by the Hierophant, and a card of, don't do your due diligence, listen to us, follow us, and all will be well, kind of structured, very rigid type of learning and belief systems. Now, they do have some guidance, and they've had some contact that involved that opportunity. We got the Hermit shows up here, which is a card of, first of all, the White Heart Sea Alliance. Second of all, it often indicates, that the alliance extends into realms that we would consider divine, benevolent, off-world, what have you. So with an eye to knowing that there had been some misdeeds, they were given that chance to clean it up. The reason they were is because at the core, the values of the Mormon Church are very, very family-centered, and good values, very good values are espoused by them. And that wanted to be honored. Okay, even though our world's going to change, our beliefs were a free will universe, and our beliefs can and will be honored. Now, the work, the cleanup is not quite done, but it's in process and it's going well. Okay, so there's more cleanup to come on that structure, and people are going to be a little sad as they learn about those misdeeds, about the past there. They're going to be glad that a cleanup has happened. They're going to resolve to have their path never go that way again. And I say that because the card, the most insightful card was on our insight cards, was the 9 of Swords, which is a card that basically said there is cause for worry, but not nearly as much as you think there is. So that corruption that is hopefully being dealt with, not just in the structure, but within the hierarchy of that faith system. It's not as extensive as one would think, and it's being dealt with. In fact, a lot of that is on the home stretch. So they're getting ready to go into a new place. Now, the final 2 cards were gorgeous about the path of this church. And this is a card that indicates success and new beginnings and inspiration. And this card talks about a new path with the way ahead very clear for you. So you know where you're going, and you're not going to have to backtrack and look back. So they are going to be able to finish that cleanup. They are going to be able to remain a viable faith system that has great values for family, and that's going to be honored, and that's wonderful to see. So viewer, you are capable of having, and you did indeed have, a prophetic dream, and I thank you very much for sharing it with me so I could share it with our viewers. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time, your attention, and I don't take it for granted or lightly. As always, use your discernment. While these videos are made for entertainment purposes, I do try to come to them with as much truth as I possibly can. If I make a mistake, it's never intentional, and I want you to know that. But again, don't take anything at face value. If it doesn't resonate with you, set it aside till you know more, okay? Because I don't want to just entertain you. I want you to see that you have some opportunities to grow your powers of discernment. I want you to know how powerful your ability to consent and remove consent is. And then, as always, discernment. And manifesting. So let's manifest that those changes within that faith system happen in a beautiful way. And the path forward is as wonderful as the cards seem to indicate. Until next time, love, light, and everything bright. Bye.